Hi, my name is Fabian, and I'm back to give you guys some more tips and tricks on how to expand your family tree, especially if you're doing research in Mexico. And before I give you the tip for today, I'll give you some background information. That is, when I first started doing my tree on Ancestry.com, I noticed that some of the records I was saving to my individuals did not have a corresponding image to them. It would say, no image, text collection only. And it would leave me wondering, well, what other information is on that image, on that document? And like a lot of us who enjoy this stuff know, is there's some very important information on those documents that don't always get transcribed over. And after a lot of wondering and just being bothered by it, I did some research, and after trial and error, I finally found these missing documents. And that's the tip for today. I'm going to show you how to find these images that don't exist on Ancestry.com, but they do exist on FamilySearch.org, which is where a lot of these records from Ancestry.com come from. And I think the best way of doing this is just kind of showing you step by step on how to find the missing images, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So here's a baptism record from my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, Perfecta Inés Zúñiga. And you may notice I kept out the first name Maria and the second last name Trujillo. And I made a previous video on why I avoid the first name Maria and the second last name, and gave you some reasoning on why I do that, and you can check that out. And here we can see her basic information. She was her baptism date and the location where she was baptized. And we notice here there's no image. It says text collection only. But if we were to go to her profile, we would see these other sources do have a corresponding image to them, and we can click on them and actually review those documents, but not her baptism record. And that's what we're trying to find, and that's what I'm going to help you guys find today. And the way we're going to do that is by focusing on the baptism place and the baptism date. The baptism place consists of the church, which is San Luis Rey, the county, Nahuatzin, the state, Michoacán, and the country, Mexico. And we're going to work backwards. So we're going to start from Mexico and kind of go backwards to find this missing image here. And to make it easier for you guys, I started this blog, and it's called fabiansworld.com, and I'll share the link in the description on how to get to it. And the reason I did that is because I found it very difficult to find the different states for these records. And then there were civil records, and then there was church records. So what I did, I created links on my page, on my blog, to make it easier for you guys to find these documents. And let me show you what I mean. So this is my website here, and it's very basic. I just started it. I'm not a professional on it, but I just wanted to make it easier for you guys, because it's very difficult to find some of these documents. It really is. So here are the civil and Catholic Church records by state. So like I said, we're going to work backwards. So Mexico is our first thing, and that's what I have here for you guys. Ready to go. These are the Mexico records. And now we want to locate the state of Michoacán. And we know, since this is a baptism, we want to focus on the church records. So we scroll down and we find the state Michoacán. We'll go ahead and click on that. The next thing we want to find is the county, Nahuatzin. Nahuatzin is also the name of the city, kind of like here where I live in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the name of the city and the name of the county. So we'll just scroll down and find Nahuatzin. Go ahead and click on that. And the final thing is click on the church or the parish. And there's only one church here, so we'll go ahead and click on that. Some of these places have several churches. And now we need to go and look at the year she was baptized. She was baptized in 1867. And here's a list of the baptisms, confirmations, marriages, and deaths for Nahuatzin, the Catholic Church records for Nahuatzin. So we want to focus on baptisms for 1867. And bautismos is the Spanish word for baptism. And 1867 will fall between the time frame of 1862 and 1868. So we'll go ahead and click on that. Now let me make this a little bit bigger. We just have to remember she was baptized April 20th, 1867. So now we see there's 193 images on this film. So what I like to do is kind of just start right in the middle. So I'll go 100, it's about 200 images. So let me go to 100 and see what year this is and what period this is. And then I can either go forward or go backwards based on where I'm at. So if I zoom in here onto this record says is el 10 de abril de 1866, which is April 10th, 1866. So I'm close. I'm a year back. So I'm going to jump to image 130. And I know exactly where this image is at, but I'm showing you the process on how I would locate the image. So I would go to image 130 and it says, El año del Señor, the year of our Lord, de 1867, 1867, so we're in the right year, a los 24 días del mes de marzo, March 24th. So we're a month behind. So we're really close to the document we're looking for. So I'm just going to go 2 images forward, and here I see El año del Señor de 1867, the year of our Lord, 1867, a los 20 días del mes de abril, April 20th. Success, we found it. And it's also Perfecta Inés, the person we were looking for. I knew exactly where this image was, but that's just how the process goes on how to find it. So here we found the image that was missing on Ancestry.com. We found it on Family Search. So now what we would do is read through it and see if there was any information that we may have missed by not seeing this image. So here I would go and I'm reading through the document and I notice she was born in El Pino. El Pino is the city found in the county of Nahuatl. So that's a piece of information we did not have. Now we know her birth town, which is called El Pino. And it also says cuatro días de nacida, which means she was born 4 days ago. So now we have her actual birth date, not just the baptism date. And by that I mean is the Catholic Church had a really strong, and still to this day has a strong influence in Mexico. And you will notice the further back you go, you will not find birth certificates, but rather baptism records. And that is because the Catholic Church require, I don't know if they still require it, but they encourage now to have your child baptized as soon as you can, as soon as they're able to. So since it was so close to their actual birth date, this is what the government would use as a birth certificate. But now we actually know her real birthday, which was April 6th, 1867. So as an example of what we might have missed if we didn't have the image, but we found the image. Okay, so now that you know the steps on how to find these missing images, I want to give you another example just to show you what kind of valuable information you could have missed by not finding that missing document. Let me go here to a marriage certificate now. And I specifically picked this one because it's in the same parish, the same church as the one from before, just so I wouldn't have to go through the entire steps and take up some of your time. So here there's a marriage certificate between Francisco Magaña and Juana Camila Zuniga. Anytime you see Franco with a period like that, it's an abbreviation for Francisco. Just like you would see down here, MA is an abbreviation for Maria, JE for Jose. And they would do this because they're very common names and it would save time and space on the books where they would write this information. But all you would see here is the marriage date and the marriage location. So you would do the same thing. You would work backwards until you would find this parish. And now we're looking for year 1862. And they were married May 21st, just to keep that in mind, 1862. So we look underneath matrimonios, which is the Spanish word for marriages. And 1862 will fall between 1855 and 1866. And again, you would kind of go through the steps of starting like halfway down, like you start at image 250, and then either go forward or backwards depending on what age. I mean, like what the year was. But I know what year it was, so let me go straight to it. Okay, so we found the document, and to make sure this is the correct one, let's just see. It was May 21st, 1862, and here we see it's el 21 de mayo de 1862, which is May 21st, 1862, and it's for Francisco Magaña and Juana Camila Zúñiga, and here you can see they wrote the entire name Francisco out. So we would read through this document, starts at the bottom of this page and continues to the top of this page, and it says Francisco Magaña, soltero. You can barely see that, but it means he was single. And then it continues up here, and it says de 21 años de edad. He was 21 years old. So now we have an approximate birth date for him. Hijo legítimo de Juan José Magaña. He was a son of Juan José Magaña and Estefana Trujillo. So not only do we have an approximate birthday, but we also have his parents' name, which was not found on this document. And that helps us expand our family tree another generation back, which is great. And the same thing for Juana Camila Zúñiga. It says de 17 años, she was 17 years old, and she was a legitimate daughter of Jose Maria. Remember, it said MA is abbreviation for Maria. Jose Maria Zúñiga and Maria Juana Perez. So we also found her birthday, approximate birthday, and her parents' information. So now we added 4 more individuals on our family trees, going back another generation, which is really cool in my book. But that's information we missed out because we did not have this image here. And that's why I think it's very important to actually look at the documents, and hopefully with the steps that I gave you guys and the tips I gave you guys today, it will help you find some of these missing records and expand your tree even further back and just even expand it like sideways, I guess. I hope this tip was helpful, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I can try to help you guys out. If I have some time, I'll try to help you guys out, find some of these missing images. If you have any, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Well, that's it for this tip for this time. I hope you enjoyed, and please share this with some people who may be having this issue, especially if you're doing research in Mexico.